This is a reading for you. It is not attached to a zodiac sign nor timeline. The intention is, if you come across this reading, it should benefit you in some way. It's been a little while, so let's get started. I've pulled some cards for you, and I have to say, I really like what I see. You know, this to me, we start off with the Ten of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. You have a vision of completion. You have an idea, you have a vision, you have a goal. And to me, this reading in a lot of ways really speaks about polarization or understanding vibration, so to speak, because maybe your current circumstances don't necessarily line up with the vision, but you are placing yourself in your mind, body, and spirit, your imagination, in alignment with the vision. And I don't think that you've ever been so clear on this. On your mind, we have the Ace of Swords. So I get a couple of things from this. For one, you may be expecting a communication, but I think that there is an inspiration here. An idea. And a sense of certainty about it. You know, a plan, a course of action. And you want to move swiftly. I feel like, you know, I often think of overcoming all of the barriers because you can see this goes over those mountains, just clear cut. It's almost like nothing can stand in your way. You just fly right over it. Now, as far as the communication goes, I feel like you're taking an approach that is very logical. I feel like you're trying to sort of keep your emotions at bay. You also might be approaching things with a state of emotional control, especially when we get into that idea of polarization or manifestation kind of thing. It's like you're taking an approach that you determine the outcome. You determine how you feel. Not in an unhealthy way, although some would argue that it is sort of suppressing emotional states. That doesn't mean that you can't feel your emotions, that you don't have bad days or whatever, but you keep yourself aligned with the idea of what is to be, the truth that you have chosen. So let's say you're working towards something and you get discouraged or you get upset or there's a disappointment, right? That doesn't mean that you don't necessarily feel that disappointment. It's just that you don't let it shake your overall goal, your overall vision, and the way you feel about it. And so with the communication thing, especially with retrograde, if there's like a past person or something that's kind of iffy, I feel like you're sort of not necessarily on guard, but looking at it objectively. And I have to tell you, what's ahead of you looks very good. You have faith that stability will come. Maybe you've had some financial difficulties, but perhaps you've been seeing more and more success. You know, it's coming in. You're getting where you're going. You know, you've stayed consistent because behind you there's the Chariot. There's movement through the will. There's dedication. There's effort. There's tenacity. You know, with this you can't fail. The Chariot will not fail. You're you know, and you've seen some success. You've seen some victory or whatever the context may be. And currently this is all building in momentum. That's really what you've started is momentum. And ahead of you, I want to say that for one, you're going to become more and more refined. You're going to get better and better at what you're doing. You may even become an authority on a matter, or just take authority in your life or whatever it is, right? And I feel like you will be very confident, you will be stable, and you'll sort of have a lot of options open up to you. These could be people, these could be opportunities, it could be both. You know, it's sort of like the world opens up to you in a way. And you have the luxury to be able to pick and choose. Because again, you've reached some level of security or stability within all of this as you've gone. And, you know, in a lot of ways, with the Seven of Swords here representing your perspective, you know, this is often perceived as a lying or a stealing kind of card. But in this context specifically, I'm seeing it as strategy. I'm seeing it as an advantage in the sense of knowing something that the other guy doesn't know. There's a technique, there's something that you're seeing results, and then you're just sort of repeating it. Or you've gotten some kind of insider information, or you've learned to move in a way that sort of ensures your success. Now, make sure you are diligent. Make sure you don't get too comfortable, because you will notice that on this card, he is leaving a couple of swords behind. So to me, that can often talk about managing too much or just getting too comfortable, right? Because, you know, he's stealing the swords from this army. So if the army is disarmed, there's not much they can do. But if he's dropping swords, well, he's kind of leaving a trail right to him with a couple of swords they could pick up along the way. Now, in the outside influence, there does seem to be very sudden changes. Again, new beginnings, things sort of taking off, everything sort of opening up here. You know, this is sort of the occurrence of that is how I'm seeing it, as what we saw in the near future. An old foundation also may be crumbling for a new one to begin. A new sense of fulfillment, a new sense of perspective, joy, perhaps love. The Ace of Cups is often associated with love. But for me, it's just sort of the old crumbling down and the new resurrecting. Especially with the, you know, the eclipse and everything that everybody's yapping about. It is a time of sort of regeneration and stepping into a new chapter, so to speak. You know, and in your fears and passions, we have the King of Pentacles. So you want stability. You know, this is what you're after. You're after a sense of sturdy foundations in your life, a sense of comfort, a sense of being able to, a sense of freedom is what we're after here. And you do obtain it because the outcome is the Ten of Cups. Now, this is very much like the happily ever after card. This is like a dream come true. This is all of your ducks in a row. This is a happy home, happy family life. This is everything that you could basically hope for. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because again, there is a rhythm to this. And I get the impression of repetition, like staying consistent in the formula that you've discovered or in the direction you've discovered. Your advice is save now so you can enjoy later. Have faith that everything is coming, but also don't be too reckless. You know, don't, like say you're trying to improve your finances and you start spending as soon as it comes, like don't do that. It's sort of saying, you know, be wise in what you're doing. And, you know, sort of expect the unexpected, because there's all kinds of twists and turns that can come into play. And then you sort of set yourself up for disappointment if you don't well prepare yourself for them. So I'm going to take this a bit further on my Patreon. If you enjoyed this reading, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to join my Patreon, that's where all of my extended readings go. from TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I also have personal readings available on my shop, on my website. I have prints, I have original artwork, different things like that for sale, different services. So definitely check that out. And I hope you all have a great evening, and I appreciate you being here.